What's up, guys? This is Scoopman 5000. We're back here for a dual action figure review. Today we're looking at the WWE Ultimate Series 4. We got Shawn Michaels and we got Brock Lesnar. Now these figures have been out for a few months and I didn't pick them up originally as soon as they dropped on Ringside. And here we are a few months later and I went to order them and they're not on Ringside anymore. And they're kind of going up in price on eBay. So I was able to find these on eBay for around $45 each and had to make sure those got secured before the price got too high for me. And then of course 2 days later they're back on Ringside Collectibles, but around that same price in like the $45 range, so it wouldn't have been too much of a price difference. Either way, I now have these figures in my hand, every Ultimate up to date before the Becky and John Cena wave, which I should have coming in a few weeks. And like I said, for this video we're going to be looking at both figures just because they've been out for a while. You know, I'd rather get them out in one video. So of course we got the names on top, and we got ultimate articulation for authentic posability on the bottom with all the logos. And on the side, we got the renders of the figures in this wave, Shawn Michaels and Brock Lesnar. On the back, you have some comparisons with the figure and the wrestler, along with some career stats and a read-up. On the other side, you got their names. And of course, with these ultimate boxes, they're technically resealable or reclosable, that is. So I always save my ultimate boxes. But let's get into the review. We'll start with Brock Lesnar, and then we'll look at Shawn Michaels in the second half. So here's your look at all the accessories going to be coming with Brock Lesnar. Start out with the head sculpts. So this is the one that comes on the figure. This kind of just the resting face. I think this is the best head sculpt, or at least the best likeness. And then we got this head, which kind of looks ridiculous. I guess the idea is that it's him either selling or he's in the middle of doing a move, but not a good look. This one definitely won't be getting used. And then finally we have the screaming head. This one's my favorite of the bunch. I always love the Mattel heads that have the more screaming and emoting faces. So this will probably be the one I end up sticking with when Brock Lesnar ends up on the shelf. And then of course we got the entrance gear. We have the Suplex City t-shirt, which came on the figure. Nice cloth shirt. Always good to see that on a Mattel figure, especially when you have an Ultimate. Same Velcro strap in the back. And then of course you have the entrance beanie. That's going to pop right on top of the head there. And that looks pretty good if you want to have an entrance Brock Lesnar. And then for the sets of hands he comes with, the figure comes with fist hands. And then we also have some gripping hands here and some more open hands here. And then finally, something I didn't even really notice with this figure, with the Universal Championship, is that it's actually a brand new Universal Championship, and it is an ultimate belt, I would say. So if we bring in our Elite Universal Championship, you notice it's a lot brighter, and I can't tell if the gold is just darker and the silver is just darker, but it looks way better, brings out way more detail here, and even the texture on the belt feels like a much better material as well, a bit more solid, and these pegs are a lot easier to get into these holes. I will say though, Brock has so much girth to him that it's actually pretty difficult to get this championship around him. As you can see, I just got one peg here at the final notch, and that's about as much as it's going to go. As you can see, this guy is totally stretched out the Universal Championship. And while I have all those accessories on Brock, let's take a look at him all decked out in his ultimate entrance gear and with the championship. And this is a good look, but I don't think I'll be going with the shirt and the hat on the shelf because this is going to be my main Brock Lesnar on the shelf from now on. But here is Brock Lesnar without that entrance gear, without the championship. And what a figure this is, actually. Looking at it out of the package all like that, this is definitely going to be the definitive Brock Lesnar figure that you're ever going to get in your collection. Because when you do have an Ultimate figure, you're going to have all new sculpt, you're going to have all new articulation, and just like kind of the legs down here and the body shape, totally different from any Brock Lesnar Elite figure. I think this shape, especially here, nails it for Brock Lesnar. The chest, when you compare it to a Mattel Elite figure, because of how they're made, they're using the same bodies most of the time. This is way different. This is something that you're really not going to get much use out of for other figures. It's very unique to Brock, and you could tell they put a lot of work into that. Let's take a look at the figure up close. Obviously, we looked at the head sculpts before. I went with the neutral one that came in the box. I like how the tattoo, you got it printed on the lower and the upper torso. And then when you articulate it, it's still printed there so it doesn't break up the tattoo. We got the shoulder tattoo there, and on the other side. And then on the back, we got probably his most famous tattoo, that big skull face in the middle, and then these two upper shoulder blade tattoos as well. On the back of the shorts, you got Brock Lesnar's logo, and on the front, some more logos on the bottom. Of course, we're not getting any sponsors. On the gloves here, we got Fear or Fury on the wrist, and then Lesnar on the gloves. And then we got what looks like all new legs, and then of course the short boots. Now we'll go over Brock's articulation. Of course, that's going to be what is going to stand out with your Ultimate figures. So the head, of course, is on the ball joint. You're going to look up that much and look down that much, not much inside to side. And then of course we got the Ultimate torso on the ball joint as well. Going to go back that much and forward that much. So actually not that much more compared to an Elite. And then for the arms, you got double joints, which is also a Ultimate feature. And that's a pretty decent double jointed elbow. Of course, the shoulder's going to rotate and the bicep cut as well. And then the wrist is going to spin and it's going to hinge. Swivel at the waist. You got ball joints at the hip. You do have a thigh cut. You got the double jointed knee. You got the cut at the boot. You have a pretty good ankle rocker. And you even have a toe articulation on this Ultimate Brock Lesnar. That's your quick look at the Ultimate Brock Lesnar. Let's do some quick comparisons with some other Mattel WWE figures. Here he is with basic Seth Rollins and basic Roman Reigns. Here he is with Elite Roman Reigns and Elite Seth Rollins. These guys look amazing together. And then here he is with Ultimate Triple H and Ultimate Bret Hart. So that's going to do it for Brock Lesnar. Now let's take a look at the Ultimate Shawn Michaels. So here's your look at the accessories that come included with the Heartbreak Kid. So we got the Ultimate entrance gear, which I think is the main highlight of this figure. So we got the entrance vest, which is a rubber piece, and then here we have the chaps, which is a very interesting piece because this is like a fake leathery fabric material. I think we've seen this on like a Finn Balor jacket here or there, and I'd love to see this on a Fiend jacket. But yeah, we got some great printing there, and then that same kind of sculpt and the rubber piece for the belt. For the head sculpts, we got two options here. So on the package, you're going to get this smiling face, and then this is the more screaming entrance face. Something with that expression just reads more Shawn Michaels to me. This, you can kind of still see it, especially at the profile there. But at the end of the day, I think this does a much better job of portraying Shawn Michaels. And then for alternate hands, we got the crotch chop hands, and we got the fist hands. And on the figure, we do have the gripping hands. And here is your look at the Ultimate Shawn Michaels, all out of the package, exactly how he comes out of it. So we'll take a look. Obviously, we looked at the head sculpt already. So we do have the chest, and this is a torso, I believe that is like the same one from like Finn Balor maybe. Could be a brand new one. I guess I'm going to have to see. We got the printed on chest hair. On the arm we got his iconic tattoo. And then the main details here all come in the tights. We got those Heartbreak tights. So we got them over the tights. On the back we do have the Heartbreak Kid logo. And then tons of hearts all over the tights, on the knee pads, and on the wrists as well. And then the boots get some silver design with those smaller Heartbreak logos inside of them. And the back of the knee pads are painted a dark red. But that's actually going to do it for the design of the Shawn Michaels figure, because you don't really get the full effect unless you have the little entrance gear going. But before we do that, let's go over articulation. So the head is not going to look back much because of that hair, but it is going to look forward pretty well. And it has a decent side to side as well. Full rotation, of course. You got the ball joint at the torso. It's going to go back that much, forward that much, so not great on the torso, but it does have a side to side. Of course, we got a shoulder rotation and the joint there, and his arm popped out. We do have a bicep swivel, really good double jointed elbow, and then of course the wrist is gonna swivel and it's gonna hinge. You have a swivel at the waist, ball joint at the hips, thigh cut, double jointed knee, boot cut, ankle rocker, and the toe hinge. So now let's try to get these accessories onto Shawn Michaels. I'm gonna do this on camera because I'm not exactly sure the best way to go about it. And I'm gonna slide the chaps over the legs. And I'm going to clip the belt together. Chaps are on. Now let's clip the torso. And that goes on easy enough. And that's what you call an Ultimate Shawn Michaels. What a difference it makes with the entrance gear on. What a beautiful figure we're looking at here. I put on the screaming head sculpt and the fist hands. You already know what's about to happen. And there he is. Look at that. That's the perfect Shawn Michaels entrance pose. We got pyro going behind him, I'm sure. But this is something that is going to be the huge selling point for the Ultimates, because you're not really going to get this with your Elite figures. The ankles, the double jointed elbows, all that is going to help you get poses like this in your Ultimate figures. And this is great. This is exactly how he's going to look on the shelf. And then you bring in Ultimate Triple H, and now it's a party. So now we'll quickly do some comparisons with Ultimate Shawn Michaels. We got the basics, we got the Elites, we got the Ultimates, and here's a better look at him with the Ultimate Triple H. So that's going to be your look at the Ultimate Edition, Brock Lesnar and Shawn Michaels. And I gotta say, you gotta love these Ultimates. I feel like a shill in all these videos so far. I'm giving everything a 10 out of 10. But you gotta love these Ultimate figures. These are going to be the ultimate, the defining versions of these characters on your shelf. If I had to pick a favorite, gotta go with Brock Lesnar. I love the proportions, and I love the Universal Championship he comes with, and I love that screaming face on Brock. But overall, that is going to do it for your Ultimate Edition Shawn Michaels and Brock Lesnar review. Of course, I'm going to leave it off with some photos I took, and as always, you can check back here on Scoopman 5000 for more action figure reviews.